Boomer coming to you live for the Built Ford Tough Studio. Boomer Esiason, Greg Giannotti. It's Boomer and Gio on the Fan. Simulcast across the country on CBS Sports Network. And wherever you are in the free Odyssey app, good Monday morning. We've got everybody here but Boomer. He's got the week off. We've got Jerry for a day. Al Dukes is back from his miserable staycation where he was dealing with all sorts of things that people should not be dealing with on vacation, and was on the radio station more, I think, during his vacation than he is when he's working. Just popping on here and there. But we're going to have a good one today as baseball is back, and we've got lots of interesting stories going on in sports and all over the world. Good morning, Jerry. How are you?
Good morning, G. What's going on, man? Doing better than the baseball teams, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell, man? I am starting to get really, really nervous about us not having a lot, if at all, Yankee playoff baseball. And I know it seems crazy for them not to make the playoffs at this point, but they just are bad.
Yeah.
And they've got too many guys. I know this is such a simplistic view on this, but they've got too many guys that do nothing for this team. I mean, from Gleyber Torres to DJ LeMahieu, I mean, those two are the biggest. To Alex Verdugo, who has done nothing. He's like 0 for his last 10,000. I mean, there are too many holes in the lineup, and once Giancarlo Stanton got hurt and was out with the production that he had, it exposed all of that. And when Luis Severino is in his group text with all his buddies, if people didn't see that story, saying that, talking trash before the Subway Series, saying that you guys only have 2 good hitters, I mean, he's not lying. That's all they've got right now, and they've got a rotation that is essentially a toss-up.
Shambles, actually.
Yeah.
And there was one, if you watch the highlight package from yesterday, by any chance, one of the Tampa Bay announcers, I don't know if it was radio or TV, when Judge flies out, he said, well, they got through Judge. They got through, meaning we're good. Mm-hmm. Because it's really remarkable when you look at that lineup. Ben Rice, I think, has been a nice player, and he's had a couple of really good moments, a couple of really good games.
Flash in the pan spot.
He might be, don't know. But I will tell you, when you look at what comes up after Soto and Judge, it's not much. Now, Volpe's been good, since the All-Star break. He's been, and he might be, it very well could be the key to them getting back on track, I suppose. But no disrespect, but Austin Wells is your cleanup hitter. And you can take your OPS and stick it where the sun don't shine. He's batting .210.
Yeah.
So when Austin Wells comes up with a guy in scoring position, I got a batter that's hitting .210. Not really confident he's going to do much of anything. And I don't know. It's just there's a lot of, as you said, nothing after that.
Yeah, I mean, and you think about just the disappointing. Well, now you mentioned Volpe. Hopefully he breaks out of it. But for the most part, after a great start, he has been
slow,
pedestrian at best.
Yep.
Gleyber Torres is a guy that shouldn't even be on this team right now. It's just, and everybody is pointing to these things like, Aaron Boone's got to fire him up. Or Aaron Judge, I heard this morning driving in with C-Mac. Aaron Judge, caller calls up. Aaron Judge has to get in some guys' faces in the dugout. What is that going to do when these guys just stink?
Nothing.
I mean, there are guys that are done. Like, okay, you can make a case that Giancarlo Stanton comes back. I mean, we got evidence of the contrary, too. But you can make a case that he comes back and is good again and adds to this lineup offensively in a positive way. Give me a case that Alex Verdugo, Gleyber Torres, Trent Grisham, DJ LeMahieu, Austin Wells, any of these guys, and maybe you can make a case that Volpe figures it out and gets back. But any of those other guys, make me a case that they are going to catch fire and they are going to contribute and make this lineup deeper. I'm sorry, but you're just going on blind faith if you believe that.
Well, I'll make it worse. Now make a case for me that anybody other than a guy named Garrett Cole is going to give you 7 innings when he goes out there and makes a start.
Exactly.
They're awful. Nestor Cortez, the whole thing about him was bad on the road, good at home. How'd that go the other day? Not great. Marcus Stroman, like him, don't like him, whatever. He's a 5-inning pitcher, and you're throwing it to the bullpen. It's a mess top to bottom, and this is a team that still, when you look at the standings, is still significantly way above 500. At one point was almost 30 games over 500 with, I know Stanton was there, but essentially the same group of players. They look like a shell of themselves in the same season.
Yeah, which is similar to 2022, but this drop-off has been worse and it's been faster, and it was way more unexpected because of the way that they look like a different team, different energy, the Alex Verdugo dogs thing, and Juan Soto bringing a different personality. But, I mean, I know it's ups and downs. We get caught in this whole situation, and you've talked about many times about, how we give up on teams early on in a baseball season, and when there's talent on a team, maybe you can't give up on them. There are teams that are just miserable that get off to 10-game under 500 starts and then remain there for the rest of the year. So I can't sit here and say that the Yankees can't figure it out. But as I'm trying to piece together, like, for example, all right, when you were standing by the Mets when they were terrible, you were saying, listen, there's too many good players on this team for them not to be 500. That's the thing that you stood on.
Yeah.
And they've come back and they've hovered around 500.
That's what they are, yeah.
That's what they're doing now. Right. So they made it back there, and that's who they are now.
Yes.
So now if you're looking at the Yankees, just like I went through it, find me the way that they become elite again, like we thought they were going to be at the beginning of the season. You can't.
It's hard. It's hard to do. The only thing I can point to is
trade deadline, because they're not going to go out and go crazy at the trade deadline.
I won't even go there. The only thing I could do is point to what they were in April and May, because other than that, LeMahieu he seems shot at this point. We know that. I have been waiting for Gleyber Torres to be the Gleyber Torres from a couple of years ago. But even if he's hitting, even yesterday, the error he makes turns into a run. It just kills them. And he's had numerous mistakes in the field. So he has not been good at the plate. He's been poor in the field, not all the time, but he makes bad mistakes at bad times. You go around the diamond. I don't know what Ben Rice is at this point. Trent Grisham, he has really good games, and then you don't hear from him for weeks. Alex Verdugo, no idea. It's really hard to make a case other than Soto. Here would be the case. Yesterday, they had opportunities. Soto had guys on base. He's got a 3-0 pitch, and he grounds into a double play, which could have been a big spot in that game. Right. I'm not even saying home run. If he pops it off the fence, puts one in the gap, game changes. The only thing I could point to is you've still got Garrett Cole, you've still got Juan Soto, you've still got Aaron Judge. Somebody, Anthony Volpe's been better since the All-Star break. Somebody has got to pick up the slack. Other than that, I can't make the case. And the pitching's a problem.
Yeah, and Luis Gil is someone that you don't know exactly what his future is going to be from a workload standpoint, which has got to be frustrating for every Yankee fan. I mean, if you want to tell me that you believe that Carlos Rodon, Marcus Stroman, and Nestor Cortes are going to come together and those guys are going to pitch their asses off for the rest of the year, okay. I mean, that's a guess.
Yeah,
and
it is a guess.
That's just being positive because the evidence is to the contrary on all of that. So, I mean, but that's what they need. They need the guys that are already on this team to be exponentially better than what they've been. And you can't have faith in that. Now, I mean, okay, let's say one of those guys, Nestor Cortes, Carlos Rodon, or Marcus Stroman, ends up having a great second half. And then you got Gil, who's still doing his thing, Garrett Cole being good. And then maybe they go out and they make a deal for a starting pitcher at the deadline. And then the rotation looks a hell of a lot better and Stanton comes back. I mean, but how many ifs am I going into here?
There's a lot.
And you shouldn't have that many ifs when you're a team that has been, that's 59-42. Shouldn't have that many ifs.
Right. Think about what you just said. 59-42, and it feels like they're 42-59.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
the
how
way the
bad
last
they've
5
played.
weeks. Right. And again, the goofiness of this, to your point, you look at the way they played Friday night coming out of the break. Great. Terrific.
Yeah.
You couldn't have asked better. They forgot about the stupid blow-up ninth inning in Baltimore, which, had they closed that game out like they should have with the ground ball to Volpe, all of a sudden you would have been looking at a first-place team, coming off a sweep, winning the first game out of the break against a team that has not played great this year in the Rays, and instead they lost that Sunday. They win the game Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday is like, what in the hell have we reverted back to? And I know it's recency bias. I get it. But you are right. That lineup is tough. I mean, there's just nothing there when you get past Judge in terms of what has gone on the last 6 weeks. And unless it is going to just snap of a finger, turn around, or someone's going to get hot, I don't know how it changes.
Yeah, and think about for the last number of years, we have talked about the Yankees, and one word comes to mind, even when they're winning, is they've been boring. Yep. They just haven't been interesting. They've been boring. There's nothing about them that create any juice outside of the Aaron Judge home run chase the last couple of years. And in the beginning of this season, it was the exact opposite. They are different. There's energy. The things, Brian Cashman, hats off to you. Finding guys, identifying guys to bring in here, and not even really going out and signing free agents and adding to the payroll that much. You brought in guys via trade. And, man, this team, that energy that they were lacking is back. And now they're as boring as any team as they've been in the last, I don't know how many years. It is rough.
And I know a solo home run should not dictate a game unless you end up losing the game 1-0. But even yesterday, before you even settle in, they're down 1-0. They're down in every game, it feels like.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. Right now, you can sit there, you can yell at Aaron Boone, go for it. You can yell at Brian Cashman, go for it. That's fine. I mean, everything's on the table right now. But what I do know is it starts with pitching. Doesn't always end with pitching. It starts with pitching. And right now after Cole, it's a struggle. And then when you've got a lineup that is struggling to hit and compete, if it's not Soto or Judge, you've got problems. And I don't know, if you are Brian Cashman, what move would be out there that's going to turn this team on its head to get them going back in the right direction.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily dislike the offseason that the Yankees had. I mean, the only gripes that I had before the season, and I don't want to have some sort of revisionist history here, but the gripes that I had, and I've been saying this for years, just like we were saying it with Gary Sanchez, it was time to move on from Gleyber Torres 2 years ago. It just was, and they should have moved on from him in this offseason, and he's been a zero for you again. But I like the fact that they stuck with Volpe and stuck by him. I really like the Verdugo trade. Obviously, everybody loved the Soto trade. I guess the only other thing that you could point to would be that, bringing Anthony Rizzo back and counting on him after last year is something that you could first guess and not second guess. But I mean, it's not as if Brian Cashman built this horrendous roster, but they've got so many holes right now that guys, you can't fix that at the trade deadline. You can't fix that by bringing guys up from the minor leagues. They've got to count on these players to figure it out. And I mean, even with the rotation, none of us really liked Rodon, but I thought Stroman would come here and be okay. I thought Nestor Cortez was going to be good again. I mean, and I thought Garrett Cole was going to come back from injury and be great again as well. But it's just, so bottom line, what I'm trying to say in a long roundabout way is this is not the year for me to really get on Brian Cashman, because I didn't have an issue with this roster going into the season.
No, many didn't. Matter of fact, we were singing his praises 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago for how good they were. And the two names you mentioned, Stroman to me is what I thought they were going to get. He's going to give you 5 to 6 innings. He's going to keep you in most games. I don't expect him to go out and give me 6 innings, no runs. I expect from Marcus Stroman kind of what he was yesterday. He's going to give up a few runs. He's going to take you into the 6th inning, and you got to win it from there. So that's been fine. Heel, I didn't expect to be as good as he was early, and maybe he was, a big key to this too. He has kind of fallen off a little bit, as we know, as we've gotten deeper into the season. Now Cole's back. It's those other two. Rodon is supposed to be an ace-like pitcher. He's been bad. I don't care what the record says. He's been bad. And then Cortez, who I love Nestor Cortez, but if he can't pitch at home when he's not pitching on the road, then at what point do we have to start thinking about doing something else with him? Because if you look at the splits, which we talked about last week, it is atrocious on the road. And if he can't pitch here, what good is he? And I don't know what the answer is, because now you need to find starting pitching too. It is a puzzling team to watch. I can only imagine being a Yankee fan, how ticked off I am, confused I am, bored by what they've done. It is really something. And then at some point offensively, you've got to get paid to do a job. A lot of these guys make a lot of money. I can't put it all on Judge and Soto. They've been great, even though they had opportunities yesterday. Someone else up and down that order has got to do something. These stretches of just nothingness is unacceptable.
Yeah, and I do think that the conversation's been the last number of years, how bad does it have to get for them to actually shake up this organization? I mean, the blueprint is there. If they somehow continue on this pace and either get wiped out as a wild card or somehow miss the postseason and get leapfrogged by the Boston Red Sox or something like that, I mean, then it's time.
That would be one of the big, to go from 28 games over 500 and right on par. I think at one point they had the best record in baseball and the Phillies overtook them. If, and we're a long ways from that happening, but if this team ever went from 28 games over 500 to not making the playoffs, would be one of the bigger collapses I think we've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not out of the question. I mean, the pace that they've been on for this long of a time, I mean, they just keep sliding and sliding and sliding back. I mean, you know, and you look at 3 games in the loss up on Boston right now.
It's nothing.
It really isn't.
It's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, and that would be the thing where it's like, okay, I think now it's time to get a fresh set of eyes on this thing and see where we're going. And I mean, imagine that. I mean, if they either have a quick exit in the postseason or miss the postseason, and then Juan Soto signs elsewhere, and we got a new general manager for the Yankees. I mean, it feels like we're at that time finally where there just something has to change if it continues to go this way.
It is. I know it's a business, and I know they're in it to make money. I understand that, but you also want to win championships. If a team like this, with a guy like Juan Soto and Aaron Judge in the lineup, if they can't win playoff series, what does it tell you about spending $600 or $700 million on a single player? Honestly,
yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, really, the only one that has they haven't won a World Series with him, but I mean, that Bryce Harper contract has been great for the Philadelphia Phillies, but mostly it never works out. I mean, think about it. I mean, maybe, the COVID Dodgers team, but they've had way more failures
a lot more, yes, for what
successes.
They spend. You're not kidding. You've got Soto and Judge in New York. You've got, Betts and Ohtani out in Los Angeles. You've got 2 teams that have spent a fortune on their rosters. You would think that you would have Dodgers, Yankees in the World Series, and that may not happen. Who knows where the Yankees even finish? The Dodgers are going to make the playoffs. I'm pretty sure the Yankees will make the playoffs. But are they World Series teams? I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, basically, if you think about the teams in baseball that have had the most success, like if you think about recent World Series winners and the Atlanta Braves, the Houston Astros, the Texas Rangers. I mean, these are teams. The Braves never bottomed out, but you had 2 teams in the Rangers and the Astros that did bottom out, and then they drafted well, and then they developed those guys, and they kept most of those guys. They couldn't keep all of them, but they kept most of those guys.
Yep.
And then here and there, they'd get a piece, but it wasn't the most expensive guy in the world.
What are you describing right now? Exactly what the Mets are trying to do.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
I know we don't have patience here, but what you just described is exactly what the Mets are trying to do while staying relevant, which is not easy.
True, because in New York, you really can't bottom out like that.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just not acceptable with the parking and the money and everything, so you got to at least try to be competitive. But, yeah, I mean, that's probably what David Stearns is saying. Like, this is how you win a championship. You don't do it by spending the most money and trying to do what the Dodgers do. I mean, for God's sakes, I mean, Shohei Ohtani's been great offensively. He hasn't pitched yet. You signed him to do both. Yamamoto's on the 60-day IL. Mookie Betts is out.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
Exactly.
Those
not
super
easy.
teams don't generally work out, do they?
Nope.
All right, Boomer and Gio with Jerry in for Boomer, just getting started on this Monday morning. We got CeeLo.